So there is a question. Consider the natural number. Consider the number 4 to the power of n, where n is a natural number. This n is a natural number. Check whether there is any value of n for which 4 to the power of n ends with 0. So what does it mean? They have given the number 4 to the power of n. Okay. We can check. We have to check whether if there is any value for n. N is a natural number. You take any natural number starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. So if you substitute n value here, then whatever 4 to the power of that value will get. Correct? So 4 to the power of that value, if you simplify, that should contain 0 as the last digit. For example, see 1050. So last digit is 0. End means this digit. Ends with 0 means this digit should be 0. That means if you substitute n value, here n is natural number. Here if you substitute, then 4 to the power of that n value will be there, no? And that if you simplify, and whatever the number you get, this is just example I have taken. Whatever the number you get, that last ending digit should be 0. So we have to check like that. We have to check if you substitute some value for n, and if you simplify this 4 to the power of that value, whether the resulting number has ending 0 or not. Okay, whether that number ends with 0 or not, like this. So that we have to check. That is the question. The first, we will start first ending with 0. See, the number 4 to the power of n, 4 to the power of 1 ends with 0. We will take this. Ends with 0. Ends with 0. That means what? That implies what? That implies divisible by 5. That means I will take another example. For example, 10. So this 10 ends with 0, correct? You can see when the number ends with 0, it is divisible by 5, correct? Because 5 ones are 5 twos are 10. So any number if you take, if the number is ending with 0, that number is definitely divisible by 5. So that I will write it here. So the number 4 to n ends with 0 means divisible by 5. Divisible by 5. Next point. See, if this number is divisible by 5 means what? 5 is the prime factor of 10, correct? So that I will write. So that implies that here I have just written divisible by, you write 4 to the power of n. The number 4 to the n divisible by, half I have written, divisible by you have to write. Okay. The number 4 to the n divisible by 5. Like that you have to write. So this implies, I already said, when this number is divisible by 5, that means prime factor is 5. Prime factor is 5. Yeah. So that is it. Okay. If the number divisible by 5 means prime factor is 5. That is understood. Next. So prime factor is 5. this is not possible. Why? Because you have to write reason. But this is not possible. So it is saying prime factor is 5, but this is not possible. 5 cannot be prime factor. Why it is not possible? You have to give the reason. So I will write because see, 4 to the power n can be written like this. 4. In place of 4 I can write 2 square. Because 2 square is equal to 4. So in place of 4, 2 square, put bracket, this power is as it is. So in the next step, this 4 to the n is equal to, see, this 2 we keep as it is. Okay. So 2 square, then bracket is there, whole to the power of n is there. For entire thing, this is power n. So this is power 2 square, and for this entire thing, this is also power. Since this is power for 2 and this is power for this, n is power for this, so we can multiply these two. So 2 to the power of 2n. Okay, now what does it mean? So meaning of this is, so this 2n is a power, it is some power. So consider this base, this is base, this is power. What does it indicate? This equation, prime factor, only prime factor is 2. This implies, so this equation implies only prime factor. Only prime factor is 2. Because 2 to the power of 2n, prime factor means we will consider this base. This is the power. So we will consider this. So this 2 indicates only prime factor is 2. That means when you prime factorize this 4 to the power of n, so the only prime factor is 2. Now, according to, there is a theorem, according to fundamental theorem, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, what you can write? So I will just rub this part. Okay. So any previous content, if you want to see, you can move the video backward. See, according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, pi cannot be prime. So this I will explain. See, here we got, because of this equation, only prime factor is 2. But what fundamental theorem of arithmetic says, there is only one way to write the prime factors for any number. That is the statement of this. Only one way means prime numbers can be in one way. For example, I will take a number. So 6 can be written as 2 into 3, right? So 2, 3 is a 6. So 2 and 3 are the prime numbers. These are the prime factors. Apart from 2 and 3, you cannot take any other number. If you take, you will not get 6. For example, instead of 3, if I take 5, what will happen? 2, 3, instead of 3, if you take 5, 2 5 is a 10. 10 we will get. Okay. Apart from 2 and 3, if you take any prime factor and if you multiply, you will not get 6. So 6 can be 6 as only 2 prime factors. When multiply those two, we will get 6. So in the prime factorization of 6, only 2 and 3 can be there. No other prime factor can be there. So that is what fundamental theorem of arithmetic says. There is only one way of writing prime factors, means no other prime factors can be taken. That is the theorem says. So because of this equation, only prime factor is 2, and this theorem says prime factors cannot be changed. There is only one way of writing. So that means only 2 can be, according to this theorem, only 2 can be prime factor. This 5 cannot be prime. So according to this theorem, we can write like this. Okay. So when 5 is not prime factor, that means what? When this is not prime factor, when you simplify this 4 to the power of n, you will take one number for n, and if you simplify, that number it cannot be divisible by this 5. Why? Because according to this theorem, 5 is not prime. When 5 is not prime, 5 will not divide this number 4 to the power of n. Okay? Correct? When 5 will not divide this 4 to the power of n, that means what? This 4 to the power n will not end with a 0. So when 5 cannot be 0, that is implies 4 to the power of n cannot end with 0. Okay? So that like that. So see, for you to make understand this question with answer, I have explained with my own words. Okay? So my main aim, my goal is to make you understand this answer. Okay? So now I have explained it. I have explained you in understandable way, and I hope you understood it very well. So now what you have to do to explain you, to make you understand, I have used these sentences and words, but while writing in the exam in systematic way, according to the textbook answer, you write that answer in the exam. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Subscribe.